Hey, and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to do a kind of a review slash programs that I can use with my cutter that I use. It's a Cricut Expression. It's an older cutter from Cricut. Being that it's an older Cricut, it doesn't seem to be supported by the design space anymore. Not that I could see. I've tried to see if it was supported there. So what I use is Surecuts alot 2.03. You can get it off Etsy. You have to upgrade it to 2.03. It's I think around $9 to $11, something like that. It was fairly inexpensive. And then if I need to use something to do some designing, I use a free program called Gimp, and it's a pretty good program. It's quite similar to Photoshop. So I'm going to do this video around using both Gimp to design some lettering that my wife was asking to have done, her name put on a sweater, or in Canada we call a bunny hug, and using these two programs together, Gimp and Surecuts alot. So this is just one of them I'm going to do. It's kind of to help people out that have expressions or like to get into it. The older expression machines are fairly inexpensive to buy, and then with Surecuts alot, it opens up the ability to use it outside just using your cartridges or the design space. It only works with expressions, the older ones, and because now the newer ones, they have a copyright on the Cricut, so you can't use it. So that being said, let's get into it. Let's find out how easy it is to use this program, both of them together. You can use the Surecuts alot on its own, but if you have any specific designs that you can't do, you can use Gimp to do so. And in the future I'll do other videos on other cutting and designs that I've done, just to show you how easy and how quick it can be done. So I hope you enjoy this. Stick around and we'll see how these programs work together. So my wife's hockey team, they got sweatpants, and this is the font that they used, and you see it's got the main color, a shadowed, and a shadow of the shadow, and that's a 3-layer, and that's what she wants her name designed like. So we're gonna try and design that, but first we had to find a font. So what I use is called Font Squirrel, and I just took a picture of it and dragged it into the program. Came up with that. Then when it highlights all these letters, we can maturate it. Come down here and see. We can see that the M matches, and so does the D and the E's. So I thought that was a good choice, so I picked it. It was Kashan script. So once you got that downloaded to your desktop or wherever you want to download it, you can move that file into your Windows font file, and then you'll have it in your fonts on your programs. So now let's get down to the designing part. We're going to use Gimp. It's a Photoshop style program. Drag it over here. It's fairly similar. Some features are the same, some are a little bit different. So the first thing we got to do is start a new layer, and I want this layer to be 5.5 inches wide and 4.25 high. And the reason I do that is that once I create my image or my text, I can then move it over to Surecuts alot and use it on that program. So this is how we're going to do it. So we have our background. Now we need a new layer. It's a transparent layer, same size. So we click OK. We're going to go up here now, and we're going to hit our text tool. And we'll write our first text. First we want to get our text size right, so I'm going to do 215 pixels, so you can experiment if you want. You see it's already got the font we want to use, so we'd have to change it. We can change it here, or we can change it here. So now we're just going to click here, and we're going to start typing. Now I'm putting a space in here before I put the hyphen in, so when we cut it out, these letters and this slash won't intersect each other and cause an issue. So we'll put a space in there. Now that we've done that, we're going to hit this move tool, and we have to place it on any one of the letters. So it's like that, and then we're just going to move it and get about equal distance, more so from left to right instead of up and down, but about there gives us enough room to expand it. So how we're going to do that now, we're going to go over to our text box here. We're going to right click with our mouse, hit alpha to selection, and adds this around there. Now we're just going to go up to select, grow. We don't want too much of a shadow around it. If you noticed in that picture, it was a very small shadow around it. We're going to go 0.02, and we're going to go OK. As you can see, it's grown or put a shadow around it. So we want to color the background so you can differentiate it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, going to add another layer. Okay, we're going to drag and drop it below our letters. That way when we color the background, it colors in here and not the whole thing. So we want a different color. So let's go here and we're going to pick red, switch it over, going to go OK, and then we're going to hit the fill tool. See, it's red. Going to come over here, get it in there, our little plus sign, and make sure it's inside there. Click, hit that, and now we see it's filled in the growth that we made. So we're going to go up to select and select none. That takes it all off. So now we have two layers. Our red layer, which is behind, our second layer, and our first layer, which would be the top layer. So now we want to grow it one more time as we've seen in the picture. So remember, see, we have our less layer, we have our small layer, and now we're going to put this layer on. So how are we going to do that? Well, first we have to shut off the first layer because we want to expand this one now. So how we do that, we'll do the same thing. Right click, off the selection. Again, we have the slash lines around. We're going to go to select, grow. This time we want it bigger because we've seen it was bigger in the picture. So we're going to go to 4. And we're going to hit OK. Now we see we did it again. So now, again, if we hit the fill with the black now, or red, it would turn it all red. So again, we got to go take another layer, add that layer, and drag that one below now. Now that's below here. Now we're going to open this up, put blue. We're going to change it over there. Okay, so we got our fill as blue. Going to go in there, see inside here, because we went in here, changed this to blue instead. And then we're going to hit there. Now we see that. Go select, none, takes it all away. So there's our third layer underneath in blue. So we're going to turn on the top layer. So now we have our 3 layers. 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to export 3 files. So we're going to shut off the top layer, middle layer, and leave the back layer. That'll be our first layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and hit File, Export As. So I already got typed in here, last name 1. And we're going to export it to our t-shirt design. So it's just someplace on your computer where you can find it. Export it. Okay, so that's 1. We're going to turn it off, turn on the middle layer. We're going to do this again. Export. Now we're going to go here. Put 2 so we can differentiate when we go to put it in our other program. So that's that one. We'll shut it off now and turn on our first layer. Our top layer will be number 3 just for doing this. So export. We're going to change that to number 3. Hit export. export again. And now we've got it all put over into our file where we can find later. So we're going to close this, and we're going to bring up our Surecuts alot. I've already got the page set up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Trace Image, open it. You can hit Browse. Now I put that in my t-shirt file. And we need last name. So we're going to hit that. We hit Preview. And there's the preview. That's our background. So we're going to hit OK. And that will put that in there. So I just like to organize it. And I put this so it pushes it up in this corner. Now, we're going to do the next layer. We're going to go OK. And last name number 2. Preview. Looks good. Okay. That's in there. So we're just going to put, it doesn't matter if it lines up perfectly right now, because all we're doing is just setting in our program, getting it ready to cut. So now we got that one. We're going to go back to Trace for our last one. We're going to hit number 3. We're going to hit OK. Now that's our third layer. We're just going to put it in there just because we can. Now that's our 3 layers. You know, we push to cut, we can see it. We can't cut it this way now, can we? So how are we going to fix that? Okay, well, first of all, it's too big. We needed about 14 inches. So I'm going to go like such. And I'm going to group it. Now we can size it. So keep it proportion. And we want it about 14 inches long. So that's what gives us here. Okay. Now you say, how can we group it together? It's going to be all one. Well, that's true. So we can go down here. I don't need that layer, so we're just going to get rid of it. But if we open up here, we can see we have our layers here. So we can shut them off. Okay, so which one do we want first? Well, we want number 1 first. So we're number 1. That's the background. So I'm not going to go into cutting right now. I'll do another video on cutting this out. But that's how we would use Gimp with our Surecuts alot too, which helps. This is just an example of some of the things you can do with Surecuts alot. I'll make other videos in the future on how to use Surecuts alot on doing other things. You know, we can just do straight into program, but that's how we do that. So once we cut that layer out, we put on the second layer, we cut it out, turn on the third layer, as you see down in this corner, and cut it out, and we'd have all 3 cut. We'd put it on our heat press, which we'll show in another video I'll be coming up later on how to layer this on your heat press and on your garment. So I hope that was helpful. I come across some of these programs. I think it was $11 for Surecuts alot, or somewhere around over 10 on Etsy. And you can look up Gimp online. It's a free download. It's a shared program. It's a very good program to use. So again, I hope that helped you out. If you have any comments or any ideas or something you'd like to see, leave me a comment below. Appreciate if you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, and you'll never miss any of my videos that are upcoming on other programs. So we also have our kids try this. We have our kids try different foods and other things and get to see their reactions to it. So I'll leave a link to two videos. One is using my heat press, and of one of our videos of our kids trying different foods. Check out our channel. Thank you for viewing. Bye for now.